Welcome to our webinar for the higher education. My name is Faye Chli. I am the head of the Customer Onboarding team. Regarding my background and experience in the company, I have studied on the reports development team and support and customer support. And then through all these years, I was promoted as a manager of the reports and the support team, then as a project manager, and now I am the head of the customer onboarding team. We are 6 people right now in the team, and we are growing. So the agenda for today will include the main configuration for the higher education. We will explain the main entities in Classter, the programs, degrees, their years, semesters, and so on. Then we will see the curriculum structures, the courses, the requirements, the credits for each program. We will see the online self-enrollments to the courses or modules, or even automated enrollments to courses if we only have mandatory courses for our programs. A number of credits and so on. And if we have the time, we will do a quick walkthrough the admission and entrance requirements and the tuition fees, which may be based on the courses, modules in the higher education. So our vision for the higher education is to have easy and connected operations and to automate processes as much as possible. So the main functions that we have distinguished for the higher education are the online enrollments based on the rules that we define. For example, based on my year or semester in the program, I must enroll in a special number of credits, in a specific number of credits, and I have to select from a specific list of courses within the curriculum. The automated enrollments to the courses, if applicable, of course, if we are talking about mandatory courses and a very standard structure of enrollments. The graduation eligibility, which may be based on the number of credits that the student has completed or number of courses, and additional rules like limit of absences, limit of failed courses or credits, etc. Customized curriculums and transcripts. The billing module, where our price list may be per program or per semester or even per course. So if my students select 5 courses, each course will have its own price. So Classter will automatically calculate the total price for each student. Or even price list per credits. So we have a special price per credit, and based on the credits of my curriculums, Classter will calculate the final price. And finally, the admission with where we can have specific qualifications required for each program, and files and information that we require for the admission, and entrance requirements like entrance exams, interviews, or even a number of points that can be calculated based on the qualifications of each student. So it's demo time, so let me switch to Classter. So I have created a demo for today in Classter. I have created the most usual structure that we see in the most of the higher education institutes. And of course, I will explain how the structure can change. And later we will see one more demo where we have more examples. So the main configuration, for the main configuration, we will start from the main entities in Classter. So in the configuration part of the menu, in the main settings, you will find the locations, and in the educational programs menu, you will find the other three main entities of Classter. So the first one is the location in my example, okay? So when we, in case of an association with multiple institutes, which may be in a different place in the same city, or even different cities, or even different countries, we have two solutions in Classter. We can either create multiple institutes in Classter, so each institute will have its own company in Classter, or we can create the different locations in this field and differentiate the people based on the location. The main difference between these two solutions is that if I keep all the locations in the same institute in Classter, like in my example, all the people from both places will have access in the same institute. This means that the back office users from California may be able to see data from Barcelona students and teachers. Okay, so of course you can filter the people in the lists. You can filter the students based on their location in any case. But for security reasons, if this causes issues for the institution, then we decide to split the different institutions as different institutes in Classter. Of course, in that case, we can have managers which will have access into both institutes, and we also have the district management. And we can still see, of course, only specific roles, specific users can still see the students from all institutes or teachers from all institutes. For these entities that we will see, we can completely change their terminology and their usage. For example, if I don't have different locations in my school, that field could be the levels of my degrees, like master's, bachelor's, or even non-degree programs, or it can be departments, faculties, for example, faculty of arts, faculty of economics, and so on. Okay. What you will need to know before you decide how you will use this entity, because this entity also filters the programs that you have below. So each location may have its own programs, or each faculty will include the correct programs in each case. The arts, if we are talking about the Faculty of Arts, for example, the arts programs will be under the Faculty of Arts only. But what you need to know is that the same student cannot be in more than one locations at the same time. So if I change this field into faculty, for example, and one student has the ability to take one program from the Faculty of Arts and one program from the Faculty of Economics at the same time, then we should not add this information in this field. Then this field can become an institute, we can just rename it into institute and add our institute details here. And the information of the faculty can go below in the programs in another field that I'll show you in a while. So in my example, I have two locations here. And then the next entity is my programs, or else degrees or certifications, and so on. So here we need to differentiate the different type of students that we have. For example, we may add our degrees here, like my examples here, the Master in Business Administration, Bachelor, and so on. And I can also have some options like open courses, as I have in my example, or else non-degree courses. Here we're talking about students who just come for one semester in our institution. They just take one course or two courses, but they will not get any certification. They don't have any credits rules and so on. They just come for in order to join one module, one course, and so on. So here we must have our programs. We're talking about the curriculum here. Okay, so for example, I have a bachelor in the business management program, and you see that I have two bachelors of the business management. The one is a part-time and the other one is the full-time. This is because usually we have a completely different structure between the full-time and the part-time program. So if we think about the curriculum, we know that the full-time may have a duration of 2 years, for example, as we see here, and the part-time may have a duration of 4 years. So this means that my courses, my path in the curriculum is different. So I may have 5 courses for the first semester in the full-time and only 2 or 3 courses in the first semester of the part-time. So in that case, it's better to split the full-time and the part-time programs even here in the list of our programs. And of course, the open courses will be, let's say, a free option for the students. They can select any of the available courses and just join the course. The next entity we see here is the years and semesters. So here we usually add the maximum duration that we may have in our programs. Here we're not talking about the calendar semester. The calendar semester is here. It is my period. I am in the winter semester of 21 right now, for example. Here we're talking about the current year and semester of each student. For example, I may have 2 semesters within the year, and I may have admission for both semesters. So in each semester, I have new intakes, new students. So this means that if I started last year, 2 semesters ago, this means that right now I am in my 2nd year and 1st semester. Another student who may start it in the exact previous semester, right now he is in the year 1 but semester 2, in his own 1st year and 2nd semester. So here we usually add the path of the student inside each curriculum in order to know which courses each student has to take right now. Okay, that can be renamed into semester only, so we can have semester 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, or it can change into period 1, 2, 3, 4, or path, and so on. And before we go to the curriculum, I will show you the final field, the shift. In my example, this is the shift if it is online, in person, or even hybrid lessons for each student. And in other examples, that one may be a specialty. For example, if I have one program, but in the second year, for example, the students can select to follow different specialties, which means that they may have some subjects, some courses in common, but based on their specialty, they may have some different courses. Then we can add the specialty here, and we can use this field for this purpose. So all these fields can be renamed and completely changed from the customized terminology. This is in the main syntax again, customized terminology. So here you can directly search for the terminology that you have right now. For example, location. If I search for location, I will find this entity, I can open it, and I can rename it from here into faculty, into level, and so on. And exactly the same for the programs. I can rename them into degrees, but it is important to have our degrees, our certifications in this entity, in the first one. Okay. And the same for the years and semesters. We can rename it into semester only or path and so on, and the shifts. You can search directly for the current terminology and change it for your institute. So in the programs, you will see how all these entities are connected to each other. So let's open the first program that I have here, the Master in Business Administration, for example. So I see that this program takes place in both locations, or it could be only in one of them. If this entity was the faculty, for example, then here we would add the Faculty of Business Administration, for example, and so on. If the shift was the specialty, we would connect the correct specialties for this program here. Going back to what I was saying previously about the level and the faculties, in case that the same student can take a program from more than one levels or faculties at the same time, then the best way is to add this information here in the program. The level, which can be bachelor, master, or even the non-degree level for the open courses in my example. And the faculty can be here in another field inside the program. These two fields are customizable as well, like the locations, the programs themselves, and so on. So we can find them in the customized terminology again. If I search for level, for example, the first field in the program is that one, the grade level, which I have renamed into educational level. And the second one, the faculty. In the terminology, I can search for faculty. It is a type of the program. The default name of Classter is grade type, let's say, but we can rename it into faculty and we can use it for our faculties. So after you define the terminology for these fields, for these two drop-down fields in the program, you can edit the values from the main settings and the drop-down lists menu, where you will search for this field directly. For example, educational level. The levels are here, and faculty. You can add new faculties or levels, you can edit the existing ones, delete them, and so on. So before we go to the curriculum, I want to explain some tips for the courses. So under the educational programs, we have the list of courses or subjects or modules. So before we create the curriculums for each program, we must import our courses. Now, in case that we have common courses between our programs, so this means that I have exactly the same content and the students are mixed from all the programs. They are all together at the same time in the same classroom with the same teacher, okay? So if I have common courses between my programs, then these courses should be created only once in the list of courses. And then we will take exactly the same course and we will use it in the various curriculums, okay, in the multiple programs. For each program, exactly the same course may be renamed. You may have a different code, for example, for the same course. So if I am in the MBA, I may need to see a different code for this course. But if I am in the bachelor degree, I may need to have a completely different code and even the title of the course. And of course, in the curriculum, I can also have different credits for the same course, different hours, different requirements. Okay, it doesn't matter. Before you create the list of the courses, you need to think about the timetable first of all. So if the students for one course are all together mixed from the programs, then the course should be only one in this list. And we can change the properties in its curriculum. When you open the course in the list of courses, you will see that each course should be connected to one program and a default year semester, and can also be connected to additional programs as well. I need you to keep in mind that the program and the semester here, they are only for filtering options. They don't actually have a functionality. What really matters is what we will do in the curriculum. So it doesn't matter if my course is connected to the international business degree. I can use exactly the same course for the business management for any other degree. Okay, it can be also in a completely different semester. It doesn't matter. Here we just need some default options for each course. And the same for the other properties that you will find in the first screen of the course. You will find hours per week, number of weeks in total, number of credits. Here again, we are talking about the default credits, the default hours. All of this can change inside each curriculum. And the same for the prerequisites, prerequisite courses. If in order to take that course, I have to pass a previous course first. Again, this is a default property for my course. I can change all of those inside each curriculum. So finally, I will go to the educational programs again and curriculum. So for each program that I have to create one curriculum, one or more. Of course, if my structure changes every year or every 4 years, I will have multiple curriculums here because the previous students should remain in the 2020 curriculum, for example, but the new students should take the 21 curriculum. Okay, but in any case, each program should have one curriculum connected minimum. So in my examples, I have created 3 different cases. So if I open the business management, the main difference between the business management of full-time and part-time is that the full-time has 2 years and the part-time will have 4 years. Okay. So when we create a new curriculum, I will not explain all the properties. I will explain the most often used ones. Otherwise, we will run out of time. Okay. So first of all, I will add exactly the same description and abbreviation or even code of my program. So I will know exactly which curriculum it is. Then the next property has to do with the graduation eligibility. So in order to graduate, I have to complete a specific number of courses or hours or credits based on your structure. Let's say that we calculate the number of credits. So if I say number of credits here, then I need to submit the required credits below. Okay, so let's say 200 credits. Okay. The next fields are additional rules. For example, the total absences limit, 50 absences, let's say, or a limit for failed courses, for example, 10 courses. So in that case, it doesn't matter if I have completed 200 credits. If I have exceeded these limits or one of them, I am not eligible to graduate. So we're talking about additional rules than the first graduation eligibility rule. So after we create our curriculum and add the general graduation rules, in the actions and edit structure option, we will create the enrollment structure of the curriculum. Okay, so here what we do is we create the duration. We do what we have done in the years and semesters of the students. So we say that when the student is in this degree and in his own first year and first semester, he should take these courses or some of these courses. Okay, this is based on the rules that we will add now. If I go in the add option on the top, this is where I create all these teams of courses, let's say. So here I have the maximum duration. I have 2 semesters per year and 2 years. So when I create a new team here, if I edit, we will find the enrollments rules. So this team of courses is mandatory, and the students should take from 4 up to 10 courses from this team of courses. So I have a similar count option. I can either calculate the number of courses or hours or credits, and below I will add the rules. Okay, so if I say credits, then the students should take from 4 up to 10 credits in total. Okay. And I apply the same rules, similar rules for each semester. Let me show you one more example. In the international business curriculum, I have a little different structure. So here, for each semester, we have some mandatory courses and some optional courses. This means that every student should take these 3 courses in any case, and they can select 1 or more courses from the optional. In that case, the difference between this and the previous structure is that when I create here the teams, in each year and semester, I say that the year 1 and semester 1 team is a group of other groups, a group of classifications. This means that inside the year and semester, I will not add courses directly, but I need to add other groups. And then the mandatory groups, mandatory and optional, this is the group of courses. So I will add my courses into these teams in my curriculum. So when I create the years and the semesters, I say that this team is a team of other teams. It doesn't include courses, it includes other classifications. And for the next teams, the mandatory and the optional, here I say that this is a group of courses. I will include directly courses into that team. And here I add also the rules for the enrollments. For example, the mandatory team is mandatory, so all students should take the courses from this team. And here, this is a different example. Here I calculate the number of credits, so I say that they should take from 9 to 9 credits. And for the optional teams, I say that this is not mandatory. I will calculate the number of credits again, so the students can take only 3 credits from this team. So this means that if these courses have 3 credits each, then they can take only 1. So when my team, actually, let's see how we add these teams into our structure. So if I create a new curriculum, let's say that I create the year 1, semester 1, year 1, semester 2, and so on. These are group of courses. So after I create my teams and I have added all the rules, what I do is I select the teams and I click on add. So they're added in my structure, and then I click on add inside each team in order to add the courses for each case. Okay, so here I have the list of all my courses, my imported courses. I can filter them based on their default program and the default year and semester, as we saw previously. And then we multiple select them and click on add. So they're added here in my structure. Okay, so after I add the courses and have the general structure, we will see that in each course we can see the properties. So this is where we can rename the course for that specific curriculum, or change all the other properties like the credits, the prerequisites, and so on. So I may have used that exact course in this curriculum and in other 2 curriculums, but I want the students only from the bachelor degree to see a different code here. So this is where I can rename it only for that, for these program students. And the same for the other properties. All these properties are inherited from the list of courses. So I have the default credits that I have in my course here, but I can still change them only for that curriculum. Okay, and the same for the prerequisites, prerequisite credits, hours, in order to be able to take that course, or even prerequisite courses from my curriculum. So The transcripts and the GPA calculation will be based on these properties. So based on my curriculum and the number of credits of each course, this is how we calculate the GPA. The credits is usually the weight of the course for the final mark, the graduation mark. And let's see also the open courses. Let's say that the non-degree course, when some students just come for one semester for one course. In that case, all we need to do is to create one general team. Here, please select a course or optional courses. You can give any name here. So you directly add all the available courses for the students into this structure as in a general list. So the students can select one or more courses just in order to join the course, but without degrees, without certifications. So these are going to be the available courses for these students. Additionally to this structure, there are some institutions which do not repeat every course in each semester, but for every calendar semester, they offer specific courses. In that case, you can create the general structure as we saw here. You can have all the generally available courses for each program, and we can use the classes in order to say for each semester which courses are offered. So the students will be able to see all the structure, all the available courses, but they will be able to select only the courses which are included at least in one class in this period. So what we can do in that case is to create one class for each semester, like I do here. I have the MBA winter semester class, and I can enable only the courses which are offered this semester. So if the course is disabled for this semester, then the students will not be able to enroll into that course. So it is a combination of two configuration parts for the enrollments. Before we see how the enrollments work, I have one more very important configuration to show you. Here in the add option, when we create all these teams of courses, we have the filters per educational program. So here we connect this team of courses to the educational programs of the students who should be able to enroll courses from that group. So here I say year one, semester one, but this is just a description in Classter. It doesn't mean that it is the same thing with the first year and the first semester of the students. So I have to say here that for all the courses that I will add in the year one, semester one in my curriculum, the students who have this bachelor degree and they are in the first year and the first semester of their own studies, even if they are in the hybrid, in-person or online shift, they will be able to do online enrollments. So this is how I filter the courses from my curriculum based on the program, the current program of each student. So if I am in my second year, first year, but second semester, I should take courses only from that team, only these courses here. So in that team, in the filters, I will add the same program for the students I am only in the full-time curriculum right now, so full-time bachelor, but only the students who are in the first year but second semester. And finally, if my team, the year one semester one team, or the mandatory courses in my other example of year one semester one, for example, is mandatory, then I can also have automated enrollments. So if the students should not select the courses themselves, but you say that this is the standard path that everyone should follow, you can also use our automated enrollments in Classter, which work based on these rules. So let's quickly see the automated enrollments, and then we will go to the online enrollments for the students. Let's take this example. I have one student, Christopher, who is in the Bachelor of Business Management, the part-time degree, and he is currently in his own first year and second semester. Okay. He doesn't have any enrollments for this semester right now. If I open the student and go to the tab enrollments, sorry, let me delete them. It is from my testing previously. So let's say that he doesn't have any enrollments yet. Okay, but I have a very standard path for my students, specific courses for each semester, so he doesn't have any options. In that case, based on the filters that we added previously and the checkbox in the year one semester one and year one semester two that the courses are mandatory, I can run from the top right in the quick actions menu. Here, actions menu. We have some special actions like enroll students to mandatory courses. So I can do this action. I will say that the automated enrollment should be done based on the curriculum structure. So I select this option. I want to consider the prerequisites. So even if I have one course as mandatory in this semester, but the course has another course as a prerequisite, and I have failed in that course, or I haven't passed this course in any case, then this course will not be enrolled to me. Okay, so Classter will always check the prerequisites as well before it does this action. Okay, I have the option to ignore the prerequisites if I want. I will do the process only for registered students, and I will not do it for all programs. I will select a specific program. For all locations, I will take only the part-time of business management in order to see this student. So I click OK. And now if I open my student, he should be enrolled in all the courses from the year one and semester two. Okay, so we see that he has automatically taken all the courses based on his own path in the curriculum first year, second semester. Now I will log in as a student and we will see the online enrollments as well. Okay, There is a setting which can redirect all the students automatically to the online enrollments for the date that they all need to complete the online enrollments. So if we are talking about optional courses or even mandatory courses, but the student can select when they will take each course, then we can open the online enrollments. In my example, the student has three programs in parallel. So first of all, I need to select which one of those I want to complete the enrollment. So I select the Master in Business Administration, for example. And here I will see the structure that we have created in the curriculum. What the applicants will see here is based on my curriculum. Based on the rules that I have added in these themes, okay, I have said that the courses from year 1, semester 1 should be taken only from the students who are in the first year, first semester, and so on. Right now, I am in my first year and first semester, so I can enroll only courses which are included here. The rules that we have added in each team are visible for the students. I have to register from 2 up to 6 courses from this group, and I can select. You see that the number of courses, credits, and hours are automatically calculated to the right side. And the students have also the option to select the class, or you can also close this option completely from the students, and you can enroll the class later from the back office. This is optional. Okay. In the other example, in the international business, for example, I have the mandatory and the optional courses. I have different rules. Here I calculate the credits. So I say that you must register 9 credits. So you should take all of them. And then I have 3 credits again for the optional courses, but I see that the first course has 3 credits. The second one has 2, the other one has 1. So I can either take the first course or the other 2 courses. Okay, if I try to exceed the limit, I will get a warning. So what I'm able to enroll from here is based on all these rules that we have in the curriculum. I am in the international business right now. So everything is based on the filters that they have here for the online enrollments. I am in the international business year 1, and I can do online enrollments from that semester courses. Okay. Let me also show you the online enrollments of the services, or actually, sorry, before we go there, I want to explain about the prices. So we said that the price list in the higher education can be also based on the course. So this means that in my courses, let's open one course in the list of courses. If the price is based on the course, in each course in the billing of prices, I have to enable the billing. The payment method has to do with the price. So if I have a standard price for the course, no matter the program of the student or any other details, I have a standard price for the course. This is 1,600, for example. In that case, the method is per academic period. So it is one price for the semester for that course. A second option we have is to have a price per credit. So in that case, we add the price for each credit, and then based on the curriculum structure of each student and the number of credits in the course in that curriculum, Classter can automatically calculate the final amount. We are talking about default prices here. Of course, in each student, you will be able to add discounts, reductions, scholarships, and so on. So, except the courses, we can also have enrollments to extra services that we may have in our institute. So in the enrollments menu, we can also add extra charges, extra services that the students can enroll themselves, like library services and so on. They can click on enrolled. You have the option to allow them to delete an enrollment or close this option so they can only take extra services. And for the courses, here I have a more complete example where you can also see the path of the student. The student has already passed some courses, so he can see the marking period and the result of the previous semester courses. So in order to have enrollments for extra services as well, for the configuration, first of all, we have to create the list of services. This is in the main settings. Again, under the courses, we have the list of services. So you can create a new service. You have to submit the price list again. So in the tab billing and prices, you have to enable the billing for this service and add the default price. So the students will automatically take the service and the arrangement will automatically create it as well. So first of all, we have the list of our services. And then in order to make these services available for online enrollment, we have to create a classification here in the classifications. We can create, we can give a general name like extra services. The type is online enrollments, so I want to open this group of services for the online enrollments, and my classification will include services in this case. So the classifications module is a general module which may be used for various reasons. We will see later that it can be also used for the transcript. So this is why you will find all these different properties here, because it is a very, very flexible module. Right now, I need to create one classification, which will include services and will be used for online enrollments. And then I filter my services below, and I select which services will be available for online enrollment. In order to open the final menu though, because right now we have completed the configuration for the courses enrollment and also the services enrollment, But in order to open the menus and the whole functionality to the students, we have to check the admission settings as well. So the online enrollments are included in the admission module. So if I go in the admission settings, we will find the online enrollment tab, where we can enable the online enrollments for the programs and also for the services in general. So let's start with the programs enrollments. First of all, I have to enable the enrollments. If I click in the first setting, if I click on open, I will see all my locations or faculties or levels, whatever this entity is. And I will say that the enrollments will be based on the curriculum structure. Okay. Then I will enable the online enrollments for one or all the locations or faculties or departments. I will enable them only for specific student status, only for the registered status. Or I can also do it for admission students, for other status, like accepted students from the admission. The enrollment period has to do with the courses enrollments, in which period they will be done for the students. We may open the enrollments for the next semester, for example. So the enrollment period may be the next semester. And finally, we have this general start and end date that the online enrollments will be open for the students. We always need to have a default status. So we have the student status, which is registered students, graduated students, applicants, and so on. But we also have a status for each course enrollment, which may be enrolled or else registered, and other status may be pass or fail, which automatically change based on the marks of the students, based on the gradebook. So in any case, for the online enrollments to work properly, we need to have a default status, which will be registered for the students. And the next two settings have to do with the class selection we saw in the enrollments. So this option, which, as I said previously, this is optional. I can hide this from the students. They can only enroll in the course and no class, if you manage the classes as from your end. So if I want to close this option, then I should select one of these settings, either to automatically create a class in every enrollment, or automatically enroll the first class to the students. And finally, we can open also the online enrollments to the services, where I need to enable the services enrollments. I can either allow the cancellation or not for the students. And then we have some additional settings like the automated arrangement creation for its enrollment. If I want the financial to be automatically created based on the default price or not. And some transition wizards which can explain to the student how they can do the enrollment, or even like force the student to do the enrollment to the services. So the next thing we will see is how the transcripts work and how the GPA is calculated for each student. So I have some examples here. So I have a simple example of a transcript where I have the list of my subjects, the subjects that I have already completed, either passed or failed. The marking period that I completed the subject, the credits, the mark, and the final result of my course. And I have one more example. This is the simple version. We can usually create custom transcripts for each institution. Of course, we have default reports, but we always have the option to create custom reports. For example, you may want to group the courses based on the year and the semester of the student. So we can say that in my first year and first semester, I took these courses. In my first year and second semester, I took other courses, and so on. And the second example has to do with modules which may include one or more courses each. So, for example, the operations management and strategy, the operations management and strategy module includes two sub-courses, operations management and strategy management, for example, which are two different courses for the students. The students take two different marks, and they may enroll into these two different courses into a different stage within their studies. They may enroll in the first course in the first semester and in the second course in the second year. But in my final official transcript, I want to take an average of these two sub-courses and the total number of credits and the final result. Usually the average here is based on the credits of the course. So we still have weights, okay? And in this case, the GPA, the final graduation mark, is calculated by the modules and not the courses themselves. So if we want to have a structure similar to this one, modules which may include other courses inside, the configuration will change as I will explain right now. First of all, in the list of courses, in my general list of courses and in my curriculums, the structure will not change. Here, I will still have the sub-courses. Here and in the list of courses, I will have the sub-courses. In the curriculum, I will create the structure of the enrollment process when the student should take each sub-course. And I have a completely different configuration which will be used only for the GPA calculation and the transcripts. So this configuration starts from the classifications again. So for each module that I have here, for example, the operations management and strategy, I will create one classification like this one. I will add the general title of my module and the code of my module. I will say that this classification is used for the marking, for the gradebook, for the marks, and the classification will include courses. So I have the operations management and strategy module. It includes courses. So here I will select the courses which will be included into this module. I have some other examples here, management and financial accounting, which includes the financial accounting, and the management accounting courses. The important properties is to say that this is the type is marks. It has to do with marks, and the classification includes courses in order to be able to filter the courses here. And then after I have all the modules created here in the list of classifications, the next step is to add these modules and use them in the model of in the annual result model in the curriculum. So the next step is to go to the academic settings, marking settings, and drop-down lists, and search for annual results models. Every time that I create one curriculum in Classter, here, an annual results model is automatically created as well and connected to this curriculum. So for each curriculum, I have an annual results model as well. So in order to add the modules here, we need to go to the configuration and add the classifications here in the model. So I click on the classifications and I select the modules. I add them to my structure. I see the properties of the curriculum. So here I have the management and financial accounting module, which includes these two courses. And here I can see also the semester that they should be taken within the curriculum. I can also have a combination of courses and modules in my transcript. So, for example, I may need to have 5 modules, which may include 2 or more courses each, and I may need some courses without any parent module, but I need to calculate the courses themselves here. So in that case, I add the classifications in my structure, which I can see which courses are included in each one of them. And then in the properties above, I will say that if the calculation for the transcript will be based only on the courses or classifications and courses, modules and courses at the same time. So in that case, for all the courses which will be found here, Classter will create the module, will calculate the module mark. And for the courses which are included in the curriculum, but they are not included in any classification here, a Classter will calculate one final mark for each course, but not for the whole module. And finally, we have to configure all the other calculation properties here, where we say that how the final mark for each classification will be calculated. It can be an average based on credits. If it is a simple average, usually we have common credits, the same credits between the courses, or it can be a sum of the marks. Then here we can define when the final mark for each module will be calculated. It can be either calculated in every course. So this means that if I have taken only this course and I have passed the course right now, but I have not passed the second one yet, if I say here that I will recalculate the module in every course, when I pass the first course, Classter will automatically calculate the modules mark and credits. Otherwise, I have to pass all the courses from the module in order for Classter to calculate the module final mark and points, credits. And finally, we have the final mark. This is the final mark for the GPA, which is usually based on credits, not otherwise it can be simple average, but usually it is based on credits. So this means that the credits that I have in my curriculum for each course are actually the weight for my course. Okay, so if I will never use the annual results models and the classifications, the transcript will be calculated based on the courses and it will be an average based on credits for the GPA. If I create classifications, then the final transcript will have a structure like this one. It will show me the module, which may include 2 or 3 courses inside, but I will finally see the module. Of course, we have the option to have the sub courses visible in the transcript and their own marks as well. We can always create custom reports for this. And finally, in order to have the transcript and calculate all these final marks for each course and the GPA, I have to, in the end of each semester usually, I have to run the annual results for all my students. So this is done from the academic tasks, marking, and annual results, where I have all my students. I can filter them per program, of course, if I want, and I can select all of them. And from the bulk actions, I can calculate the annual results. I may have multiple marking periods within the semester. I can select all of them. I can either calculate the certification, the graduation eligibility or not, and click on annual result. So Classter will calculate all these final marks and you will be able to print the transcript for your students. Let me switch to the student account. So after you calculate the annual results, you can print the official transcripts from the back office, and you can also have a transcript visible for the students here. The transcript is in the progress menu and 10 marks. If I have more than one program, I can select my program from the filters above, and then I click on preview. And I can see my results. So finally, we will quickly see the admission process. We will not go through details because there's another webinar specifically for the admission, but I have created one example, and we can see admission requirements that we can have for the applicants. So for the admission, we can open any of the personal data fields that you can find in the student profiles, like photos, first, last name, of course, birthday, identification documents, other demographics data, contact details, address, and so on. We can have documents. So if the students have to upload, of course, an identification document, I can have specific questions for the admission, customizable questions, and so on, like select the ID card for the identification document if it is an ID or passport, and I have to attach a photocopy as well. We can ask questions like background information, which can dynamically open other questions as well. Like my example, do you have other degrees? If I select yes, it will open additional questions. In which country, institution I have my degree, and to attach a photocopy from my previous degrees. Recommendations letters, where I can have the option to add more than one letters for the applicants. I can have specific qualifications. This is for a standard list of that we can create for our institute. If we have specific requirements for our applicants, like to have IT exams, which board, which year, and the mark, and so on. Or even other qualifications that the applicants can add as a free text. This is not from the standard list, but kind of more free options. Finally, I can have some consents, and I can also open signatures for the applicants. And the last step is to apply for one or more programs in our institution. Okay, so I'm a new applicant. And here you will see the configuration that you have in Classter. That can be the location, or otherwise that can be the level or the faculty, as we said. And you can enable either all your programs or specific programs for the admission. You can also show the financial if the price has to do is based on the program and not on the course, as we saw previously. So the students can confirm that they are aware from the financial arrangement and save and submit their application. You can open also interviews that you can use the Calendly system in order to let the applicants schedule an interview with your admission officers. And finally, let's see how it looks like for the back office. So in that case, in the admission and application management, I can see all the applications from my students. We can open also applications to registered students, where they can either want either to transfer to another program or apply for a new program to do in parallel or for the next year. And in the admission, you can also have points based on these qualifications. If you have a standard list of qualifications, as we saw previously, you can also calculate points and calculate the eligibility for the program based on the number of points per student. And regarding the new applications for the registered students, the registered students have also the option from the registration and enrollment menu to create new applications for new programs. You can have your special options here. For example, I either want to do a new application or we can have a program transfer here or a progress. The progress means that if you have, for example, in order to do a master, you must have completed the bachelor previously. So this is a progress in Classter, a progress application. So only if the student is graduated in the bachelor in Classter, then he's able to select the master degree in order to apply. And then the process is similar. And one final configuration that I forgot to show you previously is that I'm going back to the curriculum's configuration. So every time that you have a new curriculum, you need to connect the curriculum to the program. So in the program, in order for the students to automatically take the correct curriculum in each case, in each program, in the academic tab, you have to go to the annual results, models and curriculum and connect the default curriculum for each year and semester. So this means that if in case that you have changes in your curriculums within the years, so you have an old curriculum of 2020, for example, curriculum, and now you have a new one, 21. This means that here you will add the new curriculum when you create it. It will not affect the existing students. So all the students who are in the 2020 curriculum will not be affected at all from this setting. This is only for new students that will be saved from now and on. Okay, so this is also very important for its program to connect the default curriculum, so all students will take it automatically. So I think that we can finish here. We have seen, we have explained the main configuration for the higher education. Of course, our team is here in order to help you in any question that you may have. We can also take on the configuration for some customers if they don't have the time to do it themselves, or just consult you in case that you have a special structure and you don't know how to do it in Classter. In general, what I want you to keep from this meeting is that the first entity can only be one in each student. It can filter the programs below. in the first entity under the educational programs, it's good to have our various degrees, certifications, and the different categories of students that we may have, like students who just come for one semester, one course, etc. It is important to keep the path of the student somewhere in Classter. It's good to have it here in the second entity. We can also move this option into the last one. The functionality will be almost the same. Okay, so here we may have degrees, and under the degrees we may have specialties, the different specialties that the students can take inside each degree after the second year, for example. And we may move the years and semesters in the last entity. But in any case, it is usually very important to keep the path of each student in the educational program. So it's good to have information like first year, first semester, or even semester 1, 2, 3, 4, term 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So we know how many years the student is in our program right now. Then, if you don't need so many details, in any case, if you just have some degrees and you want to calculate also the years and semesters of the students, but you don't have different shifts or different specialties and so on, then what we usually do is we just rename the last entity into something very general, let's say category, and we just want to add one option here, like a normal main category. So everyone will take this option. I'm saying so because it is required from Classter to keep these 3 fields in the students. If we don't need to use one of those, we just create a general description, a general option. And also that the courses, in the list of courses, we create, if we have common courses between the programs, we create them only once, and we use them between the curriculums. The description, the code, the credits can change in its curriculum, and what really is calculated when we run the transcript is what we have in the curriculum of each student. Okay, so that's all. I think we have run out of time. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that you joined me today, and feel free to contact us if you have further questions and if you want to have a customized consulting for your own institute. So goodbye, everyone.